So when it comes to live streaming our church services, there are a lot of moving gears that could possibly derail the entire thing. In this video, I want to walk you through everything that I do just to make sure our live stream goes smoothly without a hitch. Let's go. This is AJaytheCEO. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. I like to have a checklist just so we can run through every single thing that could possibly derail our live stream. So again, some of this stuff is kind of obvious, but again, to quote my favorite movie, well, one of my favorite movies, without getting very particular with the words, it says, assumption is the mother of all mess ups. I'll just put it that way. So the very first thing that I always do is just check that we have an internet connection. I mean, it's really straightforward. I just open up our any browser here, and then I do two checks. First, I want to make sure, can I get out to any common website, Google, our church website, anything that's external. Then I also try and verify, can I connect to anything that's here internal as well, just to make sure the communications between our stuff here, because all of our devices are connected through the network. So I check that out. The next website that I always check out is our platform of choice, which happens to be right now Vimeo as well as Facebook. So I just go to both of those. Can I get to them? Are there any issues? Some of those platforms, especially Facebook, has been having some issues the last couple of days. So a couple of weeks. We also want to make sure I can get to that perfectly fine. The next thing I do after I know I have an internet connection, after I know I can get to my platform of choice, is I go to speedtest.net and I just verify my speed. Because again, all that could be perfectly fine, but if you can still go out to the internet but not have a fast enough connection to reliably serve video. So I always go to speedtest.net, run a basic test as close as I possibly can to a server that's close to where I'm locally at. I don't want to get something that's out in California and I'm in Virginia. That's not going to be really too reliable. So the main thing is not the download speed. I want to make sure our upload speed can maintain what we're doing. So we live stream at 1080p 60 frames a second, which requires at least 10 megabits per second upload speed. So I just test that just to make sure. Now, again, I don't know how your network is set up. We have guest Wi-Fi here with people here at the church that can tank that that speed if people are doing a lot of uploading, because unfortunately we still have people that live stream from their phone even though we're live streaming here, but that could mess up our signal. Now in another video I talked about our network. I actually use some unified networking equipment and configurations to where I limit everyone here in the church that is on our guest network and give priority to all of our hardwire stuff, which is including our computer. So that's the reason why I don't really have to worry about that much, but please be aware when you're doing this test, take that into account, because normally if you're doing this before people get there to the church. Now, if I was live streaming at 720p at 30 or 60 frames a second, I will want to make sure that my upload speed is at least 5 megabits per second. Anything higher than that is golden, but you don't want to do anything lower than that. Now, the other thing that I test after we've already got our platform of choice is fine, our internet connection is fine, what I want to start doing is making sure you don't have the random windows. I don't know if Mac does it like this, but I don't get stopped where the computer has to do an update. I try and push out and check for any updates available. That includes the operating system, the graphics cards, drivers, the software that you're using to live stream. Make sure all of that stuff is updated, because the last thing that you need is to have an update pop up and it locks out your whole system and it takes hours for it to finish being done. So from a Windows standpoint, I make sure that the updates are only done between 9 p.m. and around 3 a.m. So that normally stops that. But for all the other stuff, like we're using OBS, I just go ahead and click on check for updates to see if there's anything available. We're using our graphics card to help with rendering on our live stream, so I make sure that that's updated. The encoder that's used for OBS, I make sure is there an update for that. And I pretty much just work my way through all of the software that's needed for our live stream to make sure everything is up to date. There's no security issues or anything like that. Also, you want to make sure that you update if you're using any other antivirus on your system outside of, I'm talking about from a Windows standpoint, we use Windows Defender. That normally updates in the background, but make sure that your antivirus stuff is updated. Last thing you need is an update to come, and a new update puts on a firewall that blocks you from going out. So the main thing, I could ramble on all day long on updates, but you mainly want to make sure the operating system is updated, your software that's used to live stream is updated, any devices that contribute to help that being done, your capture card, your software that runs it, anything like that, make sure all of those are updated before you actually start live streaming. All right, now the next thing that I do is I just do a dry run. I want to make sure that I'm getting video into my system. It's showing up fine. I'm also getting audio in the system. And then after that, I want to do a sync test where I just record locally, not live stream. I record and I do a clap test where I just have me on camera, someone on camera with the sound on. They just clap, and then I play it back, and does the sound happen the exact same time that somebody claps. That will give me a sync issue, a sync test. So if anything is off, I can do a delay on the sound or anything like that to make sure it stays in check. So by the time it live stream, there is no kung fu flick where everything is out of sync. Now, the very next thing that we do is our live stream goes live at 10 o'clock, but technically we actually go live at 9:50. We always start our stuff early, so it gives us enough time to diagnose any problems. So we'll start our live stream at 9:50 or maybe even 9:45, and we go in and we just do that same test that we did with the video audio, and we just run through everything again. First off, are we getting a signal to our platform of choice? That's really simple. You hear that? We always start with a welcome screen with music and a countdown. Do I hear that? Do I see it there? Boom, there you go. That's our music. Now, I cut over. Now, I know on Facebook and YouTube as well, you have to engage the go live button if it's not scheduled at a certain time. So because we're starting early, I can go into Facebook and see what's going on. So I switch over to a live feed of our church, of the same person who was downstairs clapping or something else, and I do that test again. Am I seeing the video from the live video that people are seeing? Can I hear from live audio? And then we do a clap test again just to verify, is it in sync with the settings that we changed? All right, and then after that, I think for the most part we're good. I switch back to the welcome screen, and then I hit go live, and there we go. Now, the last thing that I do after I do this is just to test out the commenting system. I always would say leave the first comment and pin it at the top of my platform of choice, Facebook. I just say, good morning, everyone. I did mainly something like that. Good morning, welcome. Thank y'all for joining us. Something simple just to make sure that comments are going out fine, because it's been known that some of the commenting system gets knocked out sometimes. So that's mainly it. Now, I know I ran over that fast, so if you want something to print this out, I actually made a kind of like a checklist guide of what exactly everything I talked about that you can just print out and just leave there, and you can run through everything. Again, I do this so often, this takes me maybe 5 minutes to get it done. But if you don't have any type of checklist or something like that, I got you covered. You already got it. The link is in the description. Go ahead and check that out, and you just got to put your information in there, and then you'll get an email of the exact same thing, and then at least you got a checklist to verify and go over your live stream so you don't have any snafus before you get started. So anyway, if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. This is AJ. We'll see you on the next video. Later.